everyone to please stand for our prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Heavenly Father, you hold each of us in your loving hands. Come fill our hearts, minds, and bodies afresh with hope. Help us to cast our worries upon you, so that we can embrace our journey today. Bless us as we study and grow together. Come and anoint those who teach and tutor us to be gleaners of insight and knowledge. Lord, watch over us all. Keep us safe within your mighty hand. Amen.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, ma'am. It is nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. You may now be seated. How are you today?
We're fine.
Okay, fine. It's good to hear that. So are you feeling excited or nervous about our activity later?
Nervous.
Okay, just relax and let's just enjoy the debate later. Okay? So, the previous meeting, we have defined what entrepreneurship is. And we also have defined who our entrepreneurs are. And of course, we have described what characteristics do they possess. So let's just have a quick review of our previous meeting's discussion. Okay? What you're going to do is just to identify the pictures being depicted. So that pictures depict a certain characteristics of an entrepreneur. Okay? So the picture posted a quotation. Do what you love, what you do. What does it mean? Okay? For 10 seconds, who will answer? Yes? Okay, very good. That depicts passion. Our entrepreneurs has a passion. Okay? Next picture. What does this picture mean? Okay? Anyone? So the clue is P-R-S-V-E-A-N-E. Yes, Judy Ann.
Perseverance.
Okay, that refers to perseverance. Okay? So next picture. Okay, what does this picture mean? Yes, Rhea G.
Values.
So that depicts values. Very good. Next picture. Okay, what does that picture refers? Yes. So that refers to empathy. So our entrepreneurs has empathy. Okay, next picture. Okay. What about that picture? Okay, yes? Skills. So that depicts skills. Our entrepreneurs are skilled people. Okay, next picture. Okay, what characteristics of entrepreneur does that picture depicts? Yes?
Hard work.
Okay, that depicts hard work. Okay, our entrepreneurs are hardworking people. And last, okay, last is a quotation by Mother Teresa. If you are humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise nor disgrace, because you know what you are. What does it mean? Yes, Marinette.
Humility.
So that means humility. So those are just some of the characteristics our entrepreneurs have. Okay, so to sum it up, our entrepreneurs are those people making a business by taking financial risk with the hope to make profit. But have you ever wondered where these entrepreneurs came from? Or what event made them become entrepreneurs? Are they born or are they made? This side states that they are born. This side states that they are made. Let's answer that question through our debate. Honorable adjudicators, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce to you our chairman for today's debate, Mr. Perlito Niño Nuevo. Around the
adjudicators, debaters, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start our debate today, please set your handphone or any devices that may disturb our debate today to the silent mode, especially for the audiences. Do not leave or enter the room during the speech. My name is Perlito Nuevo Jr. and I am a chairperson for this round. Before I introduce the first speaker, I have been asked to read a short statement on what the ARCAÑO Memorial National High School expects of our here today. It goes without saying that we are here to celebrate the speaking skills that all speakers have developed and refined. We can truly enjoy the skills of the competitors this afternoon if we embrace the experience with the respect and courtesy that we have heard and which the rules of competition and the code of conduct require of all present. Welcome to the debate 2017 of the entrepreneurship subject, debating with the motion, are entrepreneurs born or made? On my right side, acting as the affirmative team for this debate are Ms. Dialyn Tumales for first speaker, Manuel Castro, our second speaker, Ms. Marian Vestidas for third speaker. The reply speakers will be delivered by Ms. Iris Jane Valiente, Maria Cagod, and Ms. Tila Binyan. Then, on my left side, acting as negative team for this debate are Ms. Remily Catimpo as first speaker, Ms. Royette Garcia as the second speaker, Ms. Valerie Catulao as the third speaker, and the reply speakers will be Ms. Lilibet Mao, Ms. Lilibet Sabala, and Julia Esparza. There are three adjudicators who will adjudicate this competition. The first one is Mrs. Linda Gulmisa, Senior High School Coordinator. The second one is Mr. Severino L. Magbanwa Jr., Prefect of Discipline, SSD Advisor. And finally, Mr. Jaime, Mr. Ansari Almirante, Senior High School Teacher. Then, I would like to tell the regulation of this debating competition. In this debate, for the substantive speech, the timekeeper will knock at 1 minute to show that the point of information can be delivered. The timekeeper will knock once at 6 minutes to show that the time for point of information is over. The timekeeper will knock twice at 7 minutes, then the timekeeper will knock continuously to show that the time is over. And any further explanation will be penalized. For the reply speech, the timekeeper will knock once at 1 minute, and the timekeeper will knock twice at 4 minutes. Finally, the timekeeper will knock continuously to show that the time is over. Now, we come into our debate today. To open the case from the proposition team, first the first speaker of the proposition, Ms. Dialyn Tumales.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. It is a commonly held view that entrepreneurs are born, not made. What leads someone to become a successful entrepreneur has more to do with their personality and inequalities than anything learned through formal education. Famous entrepreneur Lord Alan Sugar once said, "It doesn't matter which business school you go to or what books you read. You can go into books and buy a bottle of entrepreneurial juice. Entrepreneurial spirit is something you are born with." The biographies of entrepreneurs such as Richard Branson, Alan Sugar, Theo Papitis, all of whom school at 16 to make their own way in the world of business, add to the impression that entrepreneurs are born, not made. The idea that certain entrepreneurial traits, such as being able to spot opportunities, think differently, and take risks, is inherent, has even led to a whole new area of genetic research. Recent research by Arway River. To become a successful entrepreneur, you must be in a position of the aging, which is categorized by the 6 different personality traits, as identified by Chris Colleran, an innovation researcher at the London School of Economics. So, in conclusion, entrepreneurs are born, not made.
Thank you, first speaker. Now, we will hear the objection from the opposition team, Ms. Lilibeth Ma.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. So, is it really that simple? Do entrepreneurs pursue their path because of a genetic predisposition to do so? I am not convinced. I believe the research you mentioned is only one-sided. A survey last year by Ernst & Young of 685 entrepreneurial leaders found that experience is key to people becoming entrepreneurs. 58% of our respondents were transition entrepreneurs who had previously been employees. Many cited their experience in a corporate environment as an important training ground for their subsequent entrepreneurial leaders.
Thank you. Now, we will hear the reply from the proposition team, Ms. Iris Jane Valverde.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. What leads someone to become a successful entrepreneur has more to do with their personalities and innate qualities than anything learned through formal education. That there are 6 traits can make entrepreneurs successful: difficult background, minority, disadvantaged group, disability, rest lover, and optimist, independence and social distinction, and need for achievement and power. The combination of 6 traits can be identified in all successful entrepreneurs. Therefore, they are born, not made.
Thank you for the reply. This time, we will hear the second speaker from the proposition team, Ms. Marilyn Castro.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Let's first enumerate the characteristics are needed to become an entrepreneur. First, should be a risk taker. Second, should be a bit stubborn. Third, should be self-confident. Fourth, should be independent. Fifth, should be able to take the initiative. And the last should be ambitious. Then, we should differentiate between the real entrepreneurs and accidental entrepreneurs. First, when a company asks a candidate to open a firm, to hire them as a contractor instead of employers. Second, when the field of study or expertise somehow demands to open a business to exercise it, like hairdressers, designers, mechanics, and etc. Third, when a person with capital sees the potential of your service or products and offers you to go solo instead of being employed. Fourth, people that inherit companies from their fathers or families. Fifth, employees that learn the trade secret then decide to compete with employer. Another factor we should take into consideration is the family or friends entrepreneurs influence. Most entrepreneurs have a family members or friend who is self-employed or is running his own company. Starting a company without any exposure to someone self-employed is less common. The system is hard to understand unless you have an example or a role model navigating it successfully. To answer the question, are entrepreneurs born or made? You should understand one last point. Most people have the dream of starting a business, whether it's a full-time or part-time. The reason that stops them from doing it is fear from the unknown, and in many cases financial trouble. An entrepreneur is the person able to overcome the fear and to try to realize the dream.
Thank you, second speaker. Now, we will hear an objection from opposition, Ms. Lilibel Sabala.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. I don't agree with such idea. An entrepreneur is a person who takes risk of setting up their own venture. For perceived rewards, a notion of success. He is a person who initiates the idea, formulates a plan, organizes research, and puts a plan into action to achieve his or her goal, in which all of this can be trained to a person.
Thank you. Now, we will hear a reply from the proposition team, Ms. Mary Cago.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Many people want to click the nurture argument because it's more pleasant. We like to believe to be great performers. We can be told to be better. No doubt, but not necessarily truly exceptional. I believe that entrepreneurs are bold. You may be a better communicator, have a higher IQ, be more natural leader, be more persuasive, be more analytical from a young age.
Thank you for the reply. Let's hear the third and final speaker from the proposition team, Ms. Marilyn Pistiva.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. One very good example that embodies most of the essence of characteristics attributed to entrepreneurial traits is Henry Ford. Undeniably, one of the greatest entrepreneurs the world has ever seen. He placed himself at the forefront of social revolution that had an immeasurable impact on American life. Not only did he change the way America travels, but also caused an agricultural revolution. Ford's dropping out of school at age 16 and his interest in building a horseless carriage that attract investors and eventual business startups. In his determination to build cars that has appeal and affordable to the masses are the proof of her talent as entrepreneur. The way he ran his business was also typical entrepreneur who often desired total control. It is often said that he distrusted bankers and kept large sums of cash. So, he would not have borrowed money
delighted in pitting and executives against one another. Based on this description, some people are clearly born to be entrepreneurs. They may not have the entrepreneurial background or environment that forces or encourages them to become entrepreneurs, but they have an innate sense of entrepreneurial traits, an intuition that guides them in building their enterprises. These people see while others don't, and recognize opportunities while others fail to do. So, much of their undertaking derives from the resources within themselves. Thank you.
Thank you for the speech. This time, we will hear an objection from the opposition team, Ms. Julian Sparagosa.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Entrepreneurs are made, not born. Entrepreneurship can be taught. You can teach someone to be an entrepreneur. Through teaching, we can enhance the ability to be an entrepreneur.
Thank you. Now, let's hear a reply from the opposition team, Ms. Tila Binyang.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, entrepreneurs are born and not made. I agree that there are many skills that entrepreneurs need to develop through time. But there are such skills which were born with them. By such skills, I mean self-confidence, self-motivation, and ethics and morals. Family is also an important factor because most of the person are from his or her parents. Childhood experience can be very influential as it drives and motivates the individual, helping and achieving one's dream. I think that the desire to become an entrepreneur cannot be made. It's something that you're born with. For example, the reason that many people have inspiration of what they want to be is because of their inner determination, not because of their education or work experience, and their motivation and belief will help them in achieving their dream come true.
Thank you for the reply. Well, this time, we will entertain questions from our audience.
An entrepreneur comes from an interaction of heredity and environment. How much of it do you think is truly genetic?
It will be answered by Nelly Tumalis from opposition.
Let me use a metaphor. Short people can make it in the NBA, just like certain kinds of genetically hardware. Individuals can make it as entrepreneurs, and others do. In a reading genetic literature, we found that up to 60% of critical personality characteristics are heritable. Significant portion for personality traits critical to entrepreneurs, like the willingness to take risks and ability to tolerate ambiguity and uncertainty, are heritable.
Thank you. Is there any question? I think there's no more questions. Let us proceed to the speakers from the opposition. The first speaker of the opposition team is Ms. Rimely Katim.
entrepreneur is a person who takes risk of setting up themselves for perceived rewards and notion of success. He is the person who initiates the idea, formulates the plan, and organizes research that puts the plan into action. In order for one to succeed as an entrepreneur, one has to possess specific qualities which I believe they can be trained. Achievement orientation, opportunity identification and initiation, moderate risk-taking, perseverance, self-concept, goal setting, and interpersonal skills situation. The above one can be trained to be an entrepreneur or to reduce the risk of him running the business down to the beginning.
Thank you, first speaker. Now, let's hear a message from the opposition team. Proposition team, Ms. Iris Jane Valiente.
I believe entrepreneurs are born, not made. For a person to be an entrepreneur, they have to have certain qualities that they are born with. Children may always have ideas for making money even from primary school. They may start by selling lemonade or sweets. Like true entrepreneurs, they usually sell these things where they know they are the only ones who would be doing it, or if they have an advantage over others who are doing it. So, some of qualities of a true entrepreneur is urged to be self-employed from childhood. They also like to see reward of their work, which may be in form of money or pride, or seeing their business grow. Entrepreneurs have the spirit of winning and achieving their goals. When they get into a business enterprise, they usually believe they can do better than the owners of the business. They may even start brainstorming on what they do different and they own the enterprise. So they always have ideas and plans. You have to agree with me that people are not trained to have the above mentioned qualities but are rather born with them. So I believe that either you are born with the traits of an entrepreneur or not. If you do not have the traits, all the training and education will not turn you into an entrepreneur. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, let's hear a reply from the opposition team, Ms. Lily Bintmam.
To a very broad extent, I will agree with the statement that entrepreneurs are made, not born. For one to be an entrepreneur, they must be well trained and knowledgeable about business. One cannot manage a business and see it grow when they do not have the expertise of a business person. Those who argue that one is born with a business-oriented mind and lack for success must bear in mind that we live in a modern world where shortcuts do not apply.
Thank you. Now, let's hear the second speaker from the opposition team, Ms. Riazin Garcia.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Entrepreneurs are made, not born. It is true that family environment, religious, cultural conditioning, and commercial orientation of a region may create a favorable atmosphere for entrepreneurial growth. But these generic factors are necessary conditions rather than sufficient ones. It has been observed that a great many highly intelligent and energetic persons never become entrepreneurs. Studies all over the world show a lot of evidences that entrepreneurial traits and tendencies are acquired characteristics or learned behavior. Entrepreneurial typically show the higher level of risk tolerance and ability to cope with ambiguity. They are also alert to opportunities in the sense that they are able to make connections between apparently unrelated events and turn that into a business. They are also incorrigibly optimistic, creative, and finding resources and solutions to problems. They are also highly self-confident in their ability and have a strong belief in their motivations and abilities. But entrepreneurs are not born with all these characteristics. To be successful as an entrepreneur, we need to be in the right environment where we either formally learn how to do it or absorb it from our families and surroundings. We also need a strong motivator who helps entrepreneurs to build enterprise. He needs capital for establishing enterprise. So we can say that entrepreneurs are made, not born.
Thank you, second speaker. Now, let's hear our objection from proposition team, Ms. Bridget Carbo.
I do not agree with your idea. I believe that entrepreneurs are independent, which means that they not wanting to be just an employee, but no be self-employed. This personal preference is something you are born with and always have a desire to be your own.
Thank you. Now, let's hear the reply from opposition team, Ms. Jennifer Sabal.
Ever heard of we are not who we think we are, but what we think at that precise moment we are? Being a great entrepreneur is a state of mind. As such, we are not born with the right qualities. You acquire them. This is learning process, constant thinking, and the environment we live play a big role. At work, we all have the same chance of being great. It takes time over matter to achieve it. For instance, if you have the best idea on how to satisfy a particular need, there is to use if do not act on and acquire the necessary skills. Your idea is just as good as done by you. What good is done is under achievement in any field. Is entrepreneurship of science expedition requires effort. Thus, it's not a birth. It is a careful planning and execution.
Thank you for the reply. This time, let's hear the third and final speaker from the opposition team, Ms. Lalilin Katunan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. A report by Ernst & Young has found that out of nearly 700 business owners, most of them became entrepreneurs after a significant spend in the corporate world. When asked about their most important source of learning, the most frequent answer was experience as an employee, followed by higher education. This goes to show that not every entrepreneur is a college dropout, and that higher education is in fact a good investment in one's future, since startups are responsible for more than a third of all new jobs in the United States. Colleges and universities should put more emphasis on properly preparing students for choosing to become entrepreneurs. Thus, entrepreneurs are made, not born. Based on the discussion and analysis, there are relevant theory, concept, and examples support my opinion. And the quality of entrepreneurs is not innate, but it can be acquired through the training and experience. Everyone can choose to do pioneering For example, conversely, a lot of people, including Stephen Jobs, slowly formed this insight after understanding the company's current status and future. Lloyd is quiet, successful, who leads the firm with nearly 100 lawyers to serve a number of global 500 companies through individual efforts and opportunities favor. Higher education is in fact a good investment in one's future. Thank you.
Thank you, third speaker. Now, let's hear an objection from proposition team, Ms. Pilar Niang.
I don't agree with your idea. I believe that entrepreneurs are independent, which means that they do not want to be just an employee, but to be self-employed. This personal preference is something you are born with, and always have a desire to be your own boss.
Thank you. Now, let's hear a reply from opposition team, Ms. Julian Sparagosa.
However, the reference you mentioned from the preference being employed with seeing him or her having the freedom to take these or afternoon works and give more.
This time, we will hear a question from the audience.
What makes the name entrepreneurship hold?
That will be answered by Emily Catimpo from opposition team.
I think much of the recent research shows that entrepreneurship can be taught. The thing that some people talking about genetics are getting at the people have different proclivities toward entrepreneurship and different sets of skills or endowment intellectually. Maybe, simply put, you can teach someone to be passionate about entrepreneurship.
That's the end of our debate today. And we will allow the honorable adjudicators to decide the winner of this debate. To all of the debaters, audiences, adjudicators, thank you so much. Now, it's time for the honorable adjudicators to give verbal adjudication.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to the speakers and debaters, coordinators, to all the educators. Good afternoon. So based on your debate, so I will give some inputs now. So usually, your presentation is quite good, but be sure next time around your facial expressions, try to give emphasis that you are really having that rebuttal. Because you are answering or you are debating the, say for example, opposition or opposition, but we cannot see your facial expression that you are really insisting your side. It seems it is just a mere speaking. So during rebuttal, it is really emphasized that there is a force that you are insisting your side. You are insisting your side, then you are strongly disagree on their side, on the other side. O yun po ang medyo nakukulangan tayo. Okay. So based on the result, for this debate, the best speaker is Tumales Gayalin. Then the best debater is Estigas Maryland. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all of our debate today. Thank you for coming, and to God be the glory.